And now we see today a headline over at our friends over at Right Scoop. Joe Biden just released 11 Al-Quaeda members from Gitmo. Oh, yes, that's what I said. In what is sparking outrage on social media today, Joe Biden just released 11 Yemeni terrorists from Gitmo, who were all part of the Al-Qaeda network when they were arrested in the aftermath of the horrific attacks of 9/11 that killed 3,000 Americans. In the most dramatic step in years to reduce the population at the U.S. military prison in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, the Biden administration has transferred 11 Yemeni detainees back to the Middle East, which has agreed to help resettle them and provide security monitoring. Yeah, right.
Yeah, sure.
All of the men who were captured in the aftermath of the September 11 terror attacks have been held for more than 2 decades without being charged or put on trial. All of them were approved for transfer by national security officials more than 2 years ago, and sometimes long before that. One had been cleared for transfer since 2010, yet had remained behind bars due to political and diplomatic factors. Their release leaves just 15 prisoners at Guantanamo, cutting the number of inmates nearly in half. Monday's transfers were originally scheduled to happen in October of 2023, but were halted at the last minute due to concerns in Congress about instability in the Middle East following the Hamas attack on Israel. That the plan was resurrected during Biden's final 2 weeks in office signals a last-ditch effort by the administration to shrink Guantanamo's prisoner population and get closer to his goal of trying to close the facility. In recent weeks, the U.S. has transferred 4 other Guantanamo inmates, a Kenyan, a Tunisian, and 2 Malaysians, and is preparing for the transfer of at least 1 more, an Iraqi. That flurry of activity is motivated by the assumption that Guantanamo transfers would stop once Donald Trump returns to the White House. Trump previously vowed to keep Guantanamo open and load it up with the baddest of dudes, he said, quote unquote, although he did not send any prisoners there. Despite its late push, Biden administration is unlikely to be able to close Guantanamo's prison and court before Trump was to take office. The transfer of the 11 Yemenis was the result of a lengthy and complicated diplomatic negotiations. Every one of these terrorists, mark my words, will be looked at as heroes when they return to the Middle East, and undoubtedly will, of course, return to the battlefield at some point. And, of course, they're doing this because they know Trump would never do this. So just another reprehensible move by a reprehensible man.